It's Transforce96 here with another video. I'm going to be talking about a newly shown Hot Toys figure, this figure being Captain Phasma from The Force Awakens. So yeah, so of course this was a figure that was previewed a couple of days ago. They just did a little preview image which I did talk about, and then they put it on pre-order the same week, which is quite surprising. Typically when they do a preview, it means that the figure's coming up and it'll be on pre-order, you know, in a week or two, but to have it in the that week, you know, just a couple days later, is pretty surprising and awesome. So overall, the figure's looking great. This was one of my highly and most anticipated figures of the year. From Star Wars for sure, and I am not disappointed. So overall, just going over the actual look of the figure, like I talked about with that preview pic, they are doing her in the chrome armor, which is really fantastic. You know, every company, Hasbro, Figure Arts, any statue I've seen, I've never seen one do her in chrome. They all use silver. So it is really great to get Hot Toys doing her in the movie-accurate chrome coloring, which is wonderful. So overall, the figure is looking really nice. You know, obviously nothing super new, other than, you know, paint and the cape basically. As you can see, she's very similar to Stormtroopers. She's taller, as well as the helmet. The edges of it kind of bow out rather than curve back in. Has some different leg armor and an extra plate on the foot, and then carries a different weapon as well as wearing the cape. So she's a very similar design to the Stormtrooper. However, she does have very distinct differences that put her apart from the Stormtroopers, but overall really loving the look of this figure. Looks like a fantastic figure, and I am very excited to get it. It has gone on pre-order. As you can see, it went for pre-order at $250. This was over what I was expecting. I did expect $230 for her. The normal Stormtroopers are $205, and the differences between a normal Stormtrooper and this Captain Phasma is that the gun is slightly different. It's basically the same thing, just there's an extra stock on it. And then she has a cape, as well as she's chrome. But other than that, they don't come with, you know, Captain Phasma doesn't come with anything but a base, and the Stormtroopers come with a base. So I figured that stuff, plus her extra height, she's an extra inch than a Stormtrooper. So I thought that those things combined would bring her total to $230, which I think it should have. And unfortunately, they have priced it at $250, which is over what I was expecting, hoping, and think that it deserves to be at. Considering Hot Toys doesn't usually take into account characters, they usually just, you know, based on the figure, how much should it cost. So they don't typically price a character that's not as good lower than a character that's really good. So because of that, I am surprised that they do have such a high price tag on this one, especially having other figures that are very similar to it to compare the price tag on. It is surprising to see how much more expensive Captain Phasma is than the other figures from this series. She's actually, yeah, she's the most expensive Force Awakens figure to go on pre-order to date. So you know, it is a little disappointing seeing that high price tag. I'm definitely going to pay it. I mean, I'm very excited for Captain Phasma, and I think a lot of people will pay it as well. Captain Phasma has been the most popular figure toy-wise from The Force Awakens. I mean, with Black Series Figure Arts, even the 3 3/4 inch line, she has been, and the Elite Series, she has been the most popular figure in her respective toy lines. You know, so overall, I think this character is very highly anticipated by a lot of people, and therefore this figure is going to do quite well. This figure might have a chance of selling out before it's released. That really doesn't happen with Hot Toys anymore. So this one, I think, if there is a figure that has a chance of doing that, it will be Captain Phasma. Overall, going over what she comes with, she doesn't really come with anything, you know, like special. She comes with a multitude of hands. She really has quite a few different hands, and then she comes with her gun, of course, and then the standard base. I really do love the standard base that Hot Toys is using for the First Order figures of The Force Awakens, so I'm pretty happy with that. But overall, she doesn't come with any accessories. She doesn't come with a head sculpt of the actress who plays her, which you know, I'm not quite surprised about, but I am curious about as to why she doesn't. We have not seen a single image of Captain Phasma without her helmet on, so possibly in the movie she won't remove her helmet. However, the most unique thing, or one of the most unique things about Captain Phasma, is the fact that she's a woman. So, and her armor, there's nothing, you know, specific on her armor that tells you that she's a woman, you know. So because of that, I think that it would be a really wasted opportunity if they don't show the general public that she is a woman, and only the fans know. That would be kind of weird. So I do, like, basically, I'm like 90% sure that she will have at least one scene without the helmet on. So I am surprised and disappointed that she does not include an extra helmeted face sculpt, or not helmeted, but an extra unhelmeted face sculpt. So that is disappointing. However, I can't quite fault Hot Toys at the moment for it, because there's a possibility she won't ever take the helmet off in the movie. We'll have to see. But I'm not quite sure about that. With Kylo Ren, however, I'm even more surprised that he does not have a face sculpt, considering we've seen many images of him in the full Kylo Ren costume without the helmet on, as well as in the most recent trailer, we've seen that the fight that takes place in the forest with him and Finn will take place with him without his helmet on. So I'm incredibly surprised that he does not come with a face sculpt of the actor for that figure. So that is surprising. Possibly they will do a second version of Kylo Ren. We obviously haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if he's going to have any different costumes, or if they're going to do like a Star Killer base one where he's got his costume is all snowy and stuff. Who knows? Or if they're going to do like an end battle fight one. I don't know. We'll have to see in the future to see how that goes. But overall, I am surprised and disappointed that she doesn't come with a head sculpt. However, I can't fault Hot Toys without having seen the movie at the moment. Overall, though, the figure is really nice, and I am very much looking forward to this, although albeit a bit overpriced. I have pre-ordered this one. Typically I don't pre-order figures the day that they go on pre-order, because I'll just wait a couple months until one of the $20 coupons that Sideshow puts out every month works for them, because they have to be on pre-order for like 3 months for the coupons to work. However, with this one, I decided not to wait. I had quite a bit of reward points from Spooktacular, so I did get $70 off the figure, which I was pretty happy about. And then her release date is set between May and July of 2016, so basically in June. Same release date as the Flame Trooper. Overall, that's pretty fast, actually. Like, when you compare it to, like, Kylo Ren and the Stormtrooper, it isn't too fast. I mean, they went on pre-order in September, and their figures are set to release in January, which was an incredibly short time period for them to be on pre-order, which was awesome. And then the Snowtroopers went on pre-order about a month later, and then their release date was in March, which was very soon as well. Now, Flame Trooper and Captain Phasma coming out in June is still quite soon compared to a lot of Hot Toys pre-orders. However, seeing that the others are coming out so much faster based on when they went on pre-order, it is a bit like, I'm a bit spoiled because of that. So seeing the June release date, I'm like, it's kind of a bummer. But overall, when you actually think about it, it is a very quick release date, so I am happy about that. Overall, super stoked about this figure, and this basically means that they're going to move on to non-helmeted characters, I would imagine. They've done the entire First Order from what we've seen, other than like the Riot Trooper, but I'm sure that they'll do a Riot Trooper as an exclusive for some toy show or whatnot, so I don't think we're going to see that one soon. So hopefully they'll do maybe BB-8, Finn, Poe Dameron maybe soon. I would imagine that Rey might have some accessory that spoils the movie a bit, so we might not see her until the movie's released. And then of course Supreme Leader Snoke, I think that they're going to wait on him, and any other secret characters or characters that haven't been really shown. Of course, they're not going to go on pre-order before the movie's out, but overall, I'm super excited for this Captain Phasma figure, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of it. Oh, also, one last thing, really quick before I go. It does say that she has over 25 points of articulation, while with every other trooper, and with Kylo Ren, and with most Hot Toys figures, they say that they have over 30 points of articulation. So she does have less articulation than all of the other Star Wars figures that have gone on pre-order so far. And, I was wondering why that was the case, but Toys 210 actually brought it to my attention that possibly she won't have torso articulation, due to the fact that the paint on the armor might rub or chip off, considering she is a chrome-plated armor. So that's actually a really good theory. I think that that's probably the case. So it is a shame that she most likely won't have torso articulation, because there's this one shot of Captain Phasma that I really like, where she's you know, kind of relaxedly standing, basically. You know, she's kind of got her legs pointed to one side, and the torso is tilted a bit. Overall, I really like that shot of her, so I would have loved to put this figure in that pose, but if she doesn't have articulation in the torso, she won't be able to achieve that, so that is a little bit disappointing that she does have less articulation than all of the other Star Wars The Force Awakens figures. But overall, there you go. That's my video talking about Captain Phasma, and thanks so much for watching.